Welcome students to my first video lecture for the open course. The course name is Vocational Zoology, Apiculture, Vermiculture and Ornamental Fish Culture. So hope you have all viewed the introductory videos of about vermiculture. So in this section we will be discussing about the vermiculture and composting, just an introduction and also the classification of earthworm. So hope all of you know what is vermicomposting. The raising and production of earthworms and harvesting the worm castings is called as a vermicomposting. And in this vermicomposting, it has some difference with that of the normal compositing. And in vermicomposting, we use the worms to decompose the organic food waste, and these worms helps to turn the waste into the nutrient-rich material. And they are also capable of supplying these nutrients directly to the plants, and it helps the plants to grow and sustain. The vermicompost is similar to that of the compost, except the worms take part in the composting process. Whereas in the normal composting process, bacteria comes into action. Here also some bacterial decomposition also takes place. Apart from that, in vermicomposting, the worms takes part the major composting process. And why we prefer vermicomposting than that of a normal composting process, or we can say why vermicomposting is so important. This vermicompost is also called as a worm fertilizer, and it is strictly organic, so it's more important. It's strictly organic. The vermicompost is used as an organic fertilizer in the agricultural gardens, and it enriches the soil. It maintains ecological balance of the ecosystem. Then it creates an ecologically safe system for the production and raises the land productivity. It increases the land productivity, and food production is also increased without any artificial supply of fertilizers. So by using the vermicomposting in garden, we are able to protect ourselves from the harmful chemicals and the pesticides, which is no longer needed for the cultivation crops. So it is an alternative for vermicompost is an alternative for this artificial pesticides and chemicals. And these worms are the most important organisms in the world, and we can just see what is the history of these worms. According to a Egyptian belief, it is called as a sacred creature. Earthworms are called as a sacred creature, and it is renamed by the Cleopatra as a sacred creature, and whose removal from the earth or from the Egypt was punishable by death. In olden times, it was a punishable offense if you remove these earthworms from the earth. And it is considered that it is because of this earthworm, the Nile Valley is said to be the most fertile and the perfect land for cultivation. So that's a historical belief. It's not a belief, but still it's a fact. And the famous evolutionist Charles Darwin clearly explained the importance of these small creatures. He said that it may be doubtful whether there are many other organisms which have played so important a part in the history of the world as these small tiny creatures, these small organized creatures are that. So that was the importance given to these small organisms. And let's see in detail about the benefits of vermicomposting. So first of all, if we input the waste, vermicompost result with an output of getting a bag gold back, and it also saves the money by lending the worms, and the composting process is also very fast. So it's something related to our economy. Then be eco-conscious. the green by converting the food waste from the landfills. So vermicomposting, they help in converting, not only converting the waste into the useful black gold, but also it is eco-friendly. And it also reverses the damage made by the fertilizers, artificial fertilizers to the soil. So vermicomposting, by shifting our fertilizing method by using the vermicomposting, will reverse the damage that has caused into the soil management system from years. By the over-fertilization, use of the chemicals and other tilting purposes, the land has degraded much, and this damage of the soil can be replaced or regained by using vermicomposting. And vermicompost can be used as a potential to make money also. Then, apart from this, it helps in the plant growth, better plant growth. It improves the physical structure of the soil. So we have seen how it helps in the physical structuring of the soil. It enriches the soil with microorganisms. That means it supplies more, or it paves way for the multiplication of this microorganism if you are using the vermicomposting. Then it attracts the deep burrowing earthworms already present in the soil, and this directly improves the fertility of the soil. So normally the earthworms will be present in the soil, and if you are using the vermicompost, means that will enhance the deep burrowing activity of the normal earthworms which are present in the crop area. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil. So vermicomposting increases, or the use of vermicompost will increase the water holding capacity. It enhances the germination, plant growth, and the crop yield. It improves the growth, root growth of the plants. It enriches the soil with plant hormones like auxins and gibberellic acid. Gibberellic acid and auxins are the plant hormones which are needed for the plants to grow and to produce fruits. It also helps in the elimination of the bio-waste. So these are the major highlights of using the vermicompost instead of chemicals. So nowadays this earthworm compost, or the vermicomposting by using the earthworms, are named as vermitechnology. A technology has been developed, and these earthworms are called as a bioreactor. Earthworms as such are called as a bioreactor, and the technology by which the earthworms converts the bio-waste into vermicompost, it's called as a vermitechnology, and that branch is called as a vermitechnology. And it is an interdependent and an interlinked process. So with this vermitechnology, the vermicomposting process is taking place. We are getting the vermiwash, vermicompost, then vermery. So these are the depending processes which is present, or which is explained under the vermitechnology. We are able to produce the vermicompost. We are able to produce vermiwash. Then as such, we are able to incorporate a vermery, which is also an additional source of income for the cultivators. Again, we can see the nutritional profile of a vermicompost. The vermicompost compost contains the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, NPK level, increased NPK level. Then calcium level is also there, magnesium. Then it maintains a pH of the soil, and also the iron component, manganese component, zinc, and also the carbon nitrogen ratio in 15:5. So its vermicompost contains all these nutrients which are to be present in the soil for the surplus growth of the plants. Now the waste into resource, that is a major concept of vermicomposting. We are converting the bio waste into resources. So we are inputting the food waste or the cardboard or the shredded paper and these inputs gets converted into the output. Then what is the output? Output is a black gold compost. And pre-fishing bait, the earthworms can be used as a fishing bait. Then a composite tea can be prepared, which is also used as a growth promoter in the garden, for the garden plants. Then red worms for eating purposes, it's used as a salad. Then again the compost processes. So these are the output. Then it also vermicastings are expensive, so we can use this compost for gaining money. And it is nothing. The worms do all the work for you, and you will earn the money. And only you have to purchase a few winklers or the earthworms, and it hatches enormously. If the conditions are normal, it hatches enormously. Then the worm castings are better than the normal manure. They are the purest and the most perfect form of plant food. And in addition to containing the unusual high population of beneficial microorganisms, they are crucial to the health system. The castings also naturally aerate the soil, and moreover they moisten the soil, releases the nutrients, and it contains all the nutrients essential for the growth of the plants. Moreover, they are odorless. That's the most important point. They are odorless. So the worm casting are expensive due to these features. Okay, so that's all about the benefits of vermicomposting. Then we can see the requirements of the vermicomposting. The four and the most important requirement for the vermicomposting is earthworm. And before earthworm, using the earthworm, you should know more about the earthworms. And let us see the classification of earthworms. So earthworms are classified into three. It is epigenic, entomogenic, and anisic. These are the three types of earthworms which is used in vermicomposting. So earthworms, when we talk about the earthworms are the terrestrial invertebrates belonging to the order Oligochaeta and the class Chaetophora of the phylum Annelida. These earthworms belonging to the phylum Annelida, and they prefer the moist habitat. Earthworms prefer the moist habitat, and it is based upon their feeding habits. The earthworms are classified into detritus and geophagous. So detritus forms are there, and also the geophagous forms are there. The detritus forms, they feed on the soil surface, mainly on the plant litter or the dead root and other plant debris, and the organic matter such as a cow dung, etc. And these worms usually are the humus formers, whereas the geophagous inches the large quantities of the organic rich soil, feeding deeper beneath the soil surface, and generally they are the humus feeders. So there are the detritus feeders are there, and they are the geophagous. So the detritus forms are usually found near the soil surface, and the geophagous, they make the soil rich, and they are found in the deeper inside the soil surface. So there are the two types of earthworms. Then again there is another classification, that is the epigenic, endogenic, and anisic. In epigenic, they are the litter-giving phytophagous worms and effectively support the communication and the fragmentation of the litter. They are the litters on the surface-dwelling forms. Epigenic are the litter and the surface-dwelling forms. Endogenic are the soil-dwelling or the upper soil surface. They are found within the earth. Then anisic are the deep burrowing species or out of the earth. An example for the epigenic, it is that the Istritia fordia. An example for the endogenous is Octochetona trustoni, and anisic is a Lampeter rishi. Okay, so that's all about the classification. and we will see in the next section. Thank you.